Amigos, ¿cómo están? En esta ocasión me encuentro con Max Gloeckner. Él es Senior President de HEALY. Muchísimas gracias por estar en México y en esta entrevista.
Gracias, gracias.
How do you help people evolve? ¿Cómo ayudas a la gente a evolucionar?
Well, I think people will evolve if they understand how powerful they are. And the most important thing for people today, I feel, is to become aware. Because the more aware we are, the more powerful we are. The more aware we are about the things that are happening around in our life, the more we can decide and see what is good for us or not so good for us. And this is why when we go back into energy and frequency, and everything is energy and everywhere is frequencies, we stop being so distracted about all these external influences and start focusing more on us, of what feels good, what is right for us, listening to our heart. And this is, I believe, the most important thing today, because we are so distracted from social media, from the TV, from the news, from all these things that are happening around us, that we stop listening to ourselves and not really becoming aware anymore. Because awareness is key to everything. So the moment people start becoming aware, this is the moment when they start evolving to different levels of a human experience.
And we need silence for that.
100%, yeah.
Turn off.
Exactly. Because everything in life is basically the root cause of all disease and things in our life is oxidative stress. Mm-hmm. You know, we're always going in a frequency. We're oxidating and we're reducing it. We're oxidating every day. This is the secret of everything, actually. Like, when we understand that we are in a daily cycle, that we're oxidating, you know, we have stress, and oxidation is good to a certain extent. You know, we have energy, and then to this top point, we're going into reducing. But the problem is today we have so much frequencies around us, stress factors, smog, electrosmog, everything, our phones and everything, so that we are in this constant oxidative stress and we don't reduce enough, you know. And this is the problem really, where we going into problems. When we start understanding how important it is to reduce and get this peace, like the silence and the peacefulness for us, this is the moments when we go down. So it's really about going back to stillness, you know. I mean, this is all amazing. We have a fast speed life. We can probably have more money than we ever done before. It's easier, do everything online. But the problem is we get lost in this. We get so easily lost in this that we forget to sit down, as you said, to become still, you know, and reduce our life again, to have this peacefulness. And if you really ask yourself, what makes you most happy? Seriously, sincerely, in your heart. It's always nature. It's always being somewhere in peace. It's not the trouble, because this is emptiness eventually, right? We all love it eventually, but in the end of the day, nature shows us everything. And when we talk about this natural cycle, sorry that I'm talking so much. You gave me this.
Don't worry. I'm glad I'm not a translator.
Okay, but you know, because when we look into this daily cycle of oxidation and reduction, it's nature. We have the same with the moon. The moon is oxidating, and this is the beginning of the new moon. Now is new moon. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of energy. It's a great time to start projects. It's a great time to have meetings, what we have. It's a great time to portray a message out there until it goes full moon. And this is the most energy we can experience. Everybody knows when you have full moon, when sometimes we have a hard time sleeping. Sometimes it's like we are like everything is going on, right? And then we're going into the reducing moon. And this is the time where we need to reduce ourselves too. This is reduction, right? Everything is a frequency.
But also amoebas follow the moon. They reproduce on the moon.
Yes, it's so powerful.
Full moon. So we have this.
Yes.
This is my nature. If I can do everything, I use this. If I can, whatever, it helps me a lot. It's a great alternative.
Yes. Because it's a reminder.
Yes.
It's basically, we have this world full of influences. So we have a little device, which is now, it's also electronics. It's also connection with the Bluetooth. Mm-hmm. But it takes us away from like all the influences. And when we do a scan, when we sit down and we spend these 5 minutes with ourselves and asking ourselves what I want to support, what I want to improve right now in my life, or what do I need, what's going on. And then we're reading this one. And just the observation itself is a meditation. You know, just reading the results of the HEALY and taking the time within us, or with us, you know. We usually don't do this, and this is why it's such a blessing, because people take the time to become more aware about themselves.
And for me, it's a blessing because I love when science and spirituality get together. So for me, is that. And also, I do a conference that it's called Neuroabundance.
Wow.
And I always speak about the power of your mind, your subconsciousness, and also the laws the universal laws, like the law of attraction,
Yes.
the law of cause and effect, and the law of intention. So for me, HEALY is the synthesis of all of this.
Yes, it's like a manifestation almost of what you are practicing and teaching all the time,
Exactly.
right?
So for me, it's coherence
Yes,
also,
yes,
what
yes.
I'm doing right now.
Yes.
So I'm very happy.
It's so amazing. I mean, it's a consciousness, right? It's like the world is ready for information field technology. You know, as you said, it's like the ancient bridge between spirituality and new technologies. You know, like in ancient, I remember I grew up Christian, you know, and my grandmother always said like, before the dinner we're going to pray and bless the food, you know, and we never know why we did this. Of course we wanted to bless the food because we're grateful for the food, but today science proves when we bless water, the molecules in the water is changing, right? That means completely, religion already practiced it for thousands of years and showed us like with our thoughts and our intention we can change matter, we can change the food. And when we have a little reminder that helps us to understand we are all energy, frequencies are everywhere, and if we understand how to work with this, you know, this is where the magic is happening. And the ancient showed us to us. We just need to copy what's in nature because the ancient were way more connected to nature, right?
Imagine what resonance and vibration can do to our body if we are 75% water. Dr. Masaru Emoto and Dr. Pollack,
Yes.
they show us that the water has memory, has consciousness, has coherence.
Yeah.
And now we need to fix this thing about the oxidative stress.
Yes.
And a lot of diseases with this information field and with this information in general that we're giving to everybody, saying that we need these frequencies to have coherence on the cells
Yes.
and the mitochondria. So I was speaking about this in my conference about HEALY.
Yes.
We need these magnetic fields to get better our cells,
Yes.
right?
Yes. I mean, 100%. You know, when HEALY is an amazing invention because we really can create a beautiful space, a harmonic space, which is balanced for us. At the same time, it's scalable, you know, because we can influence the water, you know, when you put it on the water and the frequencies going into the water. It's basically a similar effect like you would pray to the water, you know, you would bless the water. So the water becomes very good for us, and we need to understand water and air are the two most important elements that we can have, right? Because we have two organs for everything that is most important. Our two lungs, so we need to breathe good air, and that's why it's very important to be in good nature. That's why it's very important to get out of the city sometimes. And we have two kidneys. This is the pumps for our body, and that's why we need to drink very, very good water. And of course, when we have the right frequencies, because water is the transmitter between the frequencies in our body, you know, we can really put ourselves back into balance and back into harmony. But for me, really, the most fundamental thing of this technology is really to create this awareness for people, because people start asking themselves new questions.
And this evolving, it's like kind of doing what you do, it's promoting freedom lifestyle.
Well, I think it's very important for everybody to define your highest values in your life. So what is the most important thing for you? Is it love? Is it freedom? Is it, you know, abundance? Is it family? Is it whatever it is? For me, one of the most important thing is freedom. It's probably always been freedom, especially during the pandemic. It's been more so freedom. And I've seen people not being free, and it became really a strong reason for me to do something about it. And this business model allows us to be free, you know, and I think this is really, it's not a perfect business model, but it's certainly better than many, many other businesses, because it allows people to, you know, create the life they want, where they want, and work with beautiful people. I mean, you guys here in Mexico, you built such a tremendously beautiful community, and it's so amazing to be able to share something that is truly helping people with the people you love, you know, with your tribe, with the people who compensate you in the things that you're not so good, but somebody else is good, and now you start working and collaborating. So I think the future of all business is co-creation, is collaboration. It's not competition anymore, you know. There's so many things we can change in this world, and if we're competing, you see, we're destroying everything basically. If we're cooperating, co-creating, we can make beautiful things together. So
this is what we call the social entrepreneurship.
Yes.
No? It's for a higher intention.
Yes.
A lot of movements on Earth, they only need 7% of the people who can think different, and then it's like a massa critica or critical mass. So I think we're doing.
This is why this is so important what we're doing. And this is so interesting that you say this, because a week ago I had the same thought, and I was thinking about magic, you know, and miracles, true miracles. And now Mexico is a really amazing place because you have so many people open to spiritual miracles, open to being very connected, similar to India.
How do you define the new leadership and a new entrepreneur?
Yeah, one word is heart-centered. I think new leadership needs to be heart-centered. You know, it needs to be doing things sincerely, pure, from a pure space. It's very important. And honestly, I catch myself also, you know, running into my shadows all the time. I'm greedy, you know, I do a lot of mistakes. I mistreat people many times, you know. But this is again awareness, you know. When I become aware about my mistakes, I can be better again, you know. And every time I see myself becoming greedy or running after the money or doing something that's not coming from my heart space, I catch myself, right? And nobody's perfect, I'm telling you. Like, also the things that I'm teaching about thinking the way you should think in order to, it's not easy, you know, but it's a journey, it's a process. And I believe when we are all trying more to listen to our heart and going more for cooperation and collaboration and co-creation and serving more, you know, if there's nothing more beautiful than serving somebody else, honestly.
And I love your quote, if you care, share.
Yes, sharing is caring.
Okay, sharing is caring. Thank you for sharing the blessings of HEALY. And you said also, everything we need is within us. Todo lo que necesitamos está adentro de nosotros.
Correcto.
And you have the most important thing for me as a leader, you have a humbleness, you are honest, and you have like autocritica, the power of criticize yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's very important.
I think that's very important. I mean, how can we, man, I mean, we are not perfect, you know, and this is reality, and it's like, I try to be perfect, you know, and I try to lie to myself or lie to other people and pretending, but todo es energía, todo es frecuencia. You cannot lie to, your energy doesn't lie.
HEALY is a basic tool to build consciousness communities.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, we like to call it the Trojan horse of spirituality, you know, because it's so funny. It's just like you give it to some people and suddenly they come back and they're asking about energy and about the scan and what's the information field and all these things, you know. And no matter if you use it for migraine or sleeping or anything like this, eventually you ask yourself a new question. Eventually you start like thinking like, how is this even possible? What's going on? This is an uplifting of your consciousness, okay? So suddenly you become more aware, and this is exactly what happened to me.